Greetings, ASA members. As we continue to live through the pandemic, let's take a moment to reflect on those who haven't lived through it. On September 3rd of this month, we passed a terrible day. We marked the death of the 1,000th educator who passed away due to COVID. At least that's as near as we can tell. It was the 1,000th educator. And as you know, we've had several of our Arizona educators who have not survived the pandemic. In Arizona, cases of COVID increased by 2,020 on Monday. That's the day of this filming. And now we have a total of 1,068,823 cases in Arizona. And the latest numbers increased the state's death total to 19,513. And it's not showing any signs really of abating. Arizona's free, federally funded COVID-19 pooled testing program for K-12 schools is up and running this fall, and so far 14 public school districts have signed on. As you know, funding through ESSER is available to support such pooled testing. Now, those districts, those 14, have approximately 122,000 students. As a reminder, for context, Arizona has 732 districts. Now that's 228 traditional districts, 457 charter districts, and 47 other educational organizations. Now, what about President Biden's potential requirement of vaccinations for employers with more than 100 employees, and also the possibility of Arizona teachers being required to have vaccinations or submit to regular testing? Okay, well, the president's vaccination mandate does not apply broadly to all schools. The Biden administration will issue a rule through the Department of Labor that will apply to the 26 states with OSHA plans. Now, Arizona is one of the states with an OSHA plan because we do not have our own separate state OSHA department. Teachers in those states will have to be vaccinated or submit to weekly testing. So here's the thing. Normally an OSHA rule takes a great deal of process and procedure to be developed. Biden will likely circumvent this, just as President Trump did when he was president and he used the OSHA procedure to get ventilator production up to speed. However, this still would likely take several weeks at the minimum. It would lead to a rule requiring school districts to mandate staff vaccinations or weekly testing for those who aren't vaccinated. A bigger question is, what if the governor takes action to block compliance? Now that's really unknown territory and the penalties are not clear. OSHA does have the authority. The question would then become, do they have the enforcement power? Just one of the many ways in which the pandemic has led to legal quandaries. I've attached some links to this message for those of you who would like to read a little bit more about this. Now let's move on to a legal issue that was highlighted during our recent Principle in the Law conference, and this applies to transgender girls playing girls' sports. There was a case in July in West Virginia in federal district court. A federal district judge there blocked a West Virginia law that bars transgender athletes from competing in girls' sports. He ruled that it is likely unconstitutional as it applies to an 11-year-old transgender girl who hoped to participate on her middle school cross country and track teams. The judge said, "I have been provided with scant evidence that this law applies to any problem at all, let alone an important problem," Judge Joseph R. Goodwin wrote. Goodwin held that the law likely violates the 14th Amendment's Equal Protection Clause with respect to student Pepper Jackson. The judge also ruled that the West Virginia law likely violates Title IX of the Educational Amendments of 1972. The West Virginia law is the second one restricting transgender students in sports to be blocked by a federal court. A similar Idaho law was blocked last year in a ruling that is under review by the U.S. Court of Appeals in the Ninth Circuit in San Francisco. The judge also cited the Supreme Court's 2020 decision in Bostock versus Clayton County, Georgia, which held that Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 bars sex discrimination in the workplace based on sexual orientation and gender identity. And he also cited the Fourth Circuit's final ruling last year in favor of Gavin Grimm, the Virginia transgender student who was excluded by his school district from using the boys' restroom. So you have two circuits, a federal district and the Supreme Court, all going in the same direction in favor of LGBTQ student rights. Something to consider if these issues surface in your district. Okay, now a few reminders. Remember your mower, not your lawnmower, but your mower Move On When reading plans are due to the Department of Education October 1st. Finally, the All Arizona Superintendent Awards for small, medium, and large districts. It's that time of the year. If you want to honor superintendents in those size districts, the applications are on our website. Finally, the National Association of Secondary School Principals has their Assistant Principal of the Year Award. That is due from us to their organization November 1st. So consider assistant principals that you know who are working day and night to keep the schools functioning. Let's nominate and honor some of those people, because we know it's difficult times out there right now. We don't have substitutes, we don't have bus drivers, we don't have cafeteria workers, but we still do have students in the classrooms looking for our guidance. So please keep up the good work that you're doing. I know you're working day and night without help, without the people you need. So we appreciate what you're doing, and let's honor our colleagues who are doing it well with you.